Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we'll be exploring a dedicated home theater system which supports Dolby Atmos and gives you an immersive sound all within a 1.5 lakh budget. And of course, this will be a hi-fi home theater setup, although it will be entry level. So what exactly are we building over here? Instead of going with the traditional 5.1.2 setup, we'll be going with 4.0.2. Essentially, what it means is that we will be eliminating the center channel and a subwoofer. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because the center channel in a lot of cases gets overpowered, and the left and right front channels don't really play a major role, I would say. So center and subwoofer are two things that I'm eliminating from the start on. But if you think that you need it, then you can add it on further. But for a complete immersion, so the sounds will be coming from front, from your sides, and from the top. So you'll have complete immersion. Now, if you want more bass or if you want more vocals coming at you, then you can always upgrade. So it's really up to you. But for immersive sound, we will be going with 4.0.2 setup. Now, let's break down what exactly we will be using. So the first thing is the AVR. The AVR that we'll be going with will be the Denon X1700H. Now, this is the cheapest AVR available in the market and it costs 48,000. The alternative to this is the Marantz NR1711. So that's for 55,000. My personal preference would be the Marantz, but Denon is also not a bad choice. Denon is neutral, Marantz is a little warmer, so you make your own choice over there. For the front speakers, we have two choices. We have the ELAC Debut 6.2 and we have the Q Acoustics 3030i. Both the speakers have 6.5-inch woofers and they go pretty low, up to 35 hertz. And the reason why I'm choosing this is because so we can eliminate the need for a subwoofer. Obviously, it cannot handle all the frequencies that a subwoofer can handle, but to a fair bit, it does give you deep bass. And especially if you're living in an apartment where you can't switch on the subwoofer at night, then it's a good thing that you go with these speakers instead of a dedicated subwoofer. If you're choosing these two speakers, the ELAC Debut 6.2, since it's front ported, it can be placed anywhere. It is placement friendly, but Q Acoustics 3030i is not placement friendly. It is back ported, so you need to give around 6 to 7 inches from the wall and then place it. Both cost you around 40,000 and you can make your own choice over here. My personal preference would be to go with ELAC Debut 6.2 because it's placement friendly and the midtones are sharper. For the rares, we have three options. We have the ELAC Debut 5.2, the Q Acoustics 3020, and the Mission LX2. Now, between these three, you can choose any one of them. The cheapest is Mission LX2, and that would be my recommendation over here. But if there isn't 6 to 7 inches off from the wall or from the sides for that matter, then go for the ELAC Debut B5.2. Because they're front ported and they can be placed anywhere, I would recommend you that, but those are expensive. The Mission LX2 are for 26 or 24 also you can find them, but the ELACs are for 34 and so are the Q Acoustics around 34. So you can make your choice over here. My recommendation is you go with the Mission LX2. They do a great job, well-balanced speakers, and they work well. For the ceiling speakers, we'll be going with the Polk Audio RC80i. Now over here, I'm not recommending any other choice because these are the only ceiling speakers with an 8-inch woofer and you need bass. So with an 8-inch, they go very low, somewhere around 30 hertz. And when you have those effects coming in from above, you want the bass to be projected from them and not just the mids or the trebs. So my choice would be this. And they come in at 26,000. So There you go. Whatever combination you choose over here, your budget would be somewhere around 1.5 lakhs. And these components have been chosen carefully and also to give you a choice according to what sound profile you like. My recommendations are there, but those are my recommendations. What as to what my ears like. For example, I tend to prefer warmer sounds. So I would gravitate towards Marantz. And for speakers, I tend to prefer neutral sounding speakers, which people call them as boring. So that's ELAC. If you want brighter speakers, you would probably go with monitor audio. So there are choices to be made in audio. No speaker is suitable for everyone, but there are good speakers and there are definitely bad speakers. Now, the total budget over here, if you choose the components that I have recommended, then your total cost should be around 1,43,000. If you go with the Mission LX2s over the B 5.2s, then your total cost would be reduced to 1,36,000. So roughly your system should cost between 1.35 to 1.45. Again, depending on what choices you make for your system. Now let's talk about the upgrades. Now, for the subwoofer, there are two recommendations I would make. Now, the first one is the budget recommendation. The budget recommendation is with the Klipsch R-120SW. Now, these are ported subwoofers and they go somewhere around 25 hertz. They give you very good pressurization, but since they're ported, they are prone to chaffing, which will happen over the years. If you do go with the Klipsch, add another 50,000 to your total cost, and you're still within 2 lakhs. But yes, you've made a substantial investment. The other subwoofer I would recommend, and this is only for bass heads, also my personal recommendation, the SVS PB1000 Pro. Now, there is no subwoofer in the market that can beat the SVS at the price point and the kind of bass that they deliver. If you are a bass head, go with the SVS. The SVS will never disappoint you. My recommendation is to go with the sealed over the ported, but because you can listen to both music and cinema, and they go pretty low, 21 hertz they go down to. I think that's plentiful. But if you do want only for cinema, you can go for the PB series, the PB1000, but they are a little expensive. These are my recommendations for the subwoofer. The center channel, so I would recommend that you experience the setup, the 4.0.2 setup for a month, and then ask yourself if you really need a center channel. And buy the same center channel for which you have the left and right speakers. So if you have the ELACs, go for the same Debut 2.0 series and those center channels. If you went with Q Acoustics, go for the same center channels, the 3000 series, and they would cost you both. Again, they would cost you somewhere around 30 to 35,000. The 4.0.2 setup that I recommended, this is for small to medium sized rooms. If you go into a larger room, you will have to invest into a center channel and a subwoofer. But if you are in a smaller room, you can get away with that because the lower bass will not leak out. But anything larger than, I would say, 300 square feet, and you would need a subwoofer and a center channel. But below that, you can get away with it. My final thoughts on this are, if you're going with an Atmos setup, start with a 4.0.2 setup, and then based on your requirements, upgrade if you really need it, upgrade to a 5.1.2. I would say first start with the subwoofer and then go to the center channel. But if you want to do the opposite, feel free to do that. My recommendation would be add the sub first and then go for the center, because adding the sub is far more rewarding than adding the center channel. And that's it. Thank you for watching.